Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes Otherside. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's I'll just go right into my last week.
Yeah, what were you doing last week?
Oh god, I need to mute the stream first. There we go.
Aha!
Uh,
That was odd. I don't know why I said that.
so yeah, I started playing Tales of Magiel again. I was gonna make Van Helsing, but there's no like cleric class in that game, so I made Malachi instead. And I've been going through that. Uh,
Hmm.
it's actually my best run. Yeah, I'm up to level 20, which is the best I've done in hardcore here. Or what the fuck am I saying? It's the best I've done in that game. I always die at like 10 to 15. I get to the tier 2 levels and I just like get blown up instantly.
Hmm.
I've actually managed to make it to 20 this time, but it might end very soon. I have to go to the Daikara, and that game always just
The
kills me.
Daikara?
Yeah, there's just this level that I don't. It's a tier 2 mission, but it really feels like it shouldn't be. Shit just like explodes me in there every time I try it.
That doesn't sound very comfortable.
Yeah, no, I tried. I've got a new plan though. I usually go there around like 15 or 16, but I tried going to a bunch of optional areas first. I'm level 20 now. Maybe
Hmm.
I'll be able to take it on. But aside from that, I've been like way behind on Dicing with Death for a long time. Like I'd watched the first episode of Georg where he
Hmm.
like frees a bunch of slaves and they all go on like a merry adventure down to some halfling village and they bother a bunch of halflings and the halflings get really mad, but then he makes everybody tea and they have like a nice afternoon of tea.
And it's all cute and kind of funny, and he's doing some
Yeah, and
quirky
then like
things.
I hadn't watched anything after that, and all these people were like, "Dude, Georg like murders people and steals their souls, and he like courts with vampires." Just what happens? So I started watching that again, and it's a little bit weird because like he went to Shirebrook for the first time and started meeting all of these NPCs that I've known for a long time. But when
Hmm.
I thought about it, I was like, that was their first time ever showing up in a
Hmm.
show. And then I ended last night on him finding Reptar's dead body and
Oh,
vowing revenge against Tyrus Fellows.
poor Reptars.
Neal, you might want to check chat.
Yeah, I saw that. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. I don't know how the hell that happened, but fuck it.
All right.
So where were you? Where were we?
Oh yeah.
What happened last week?
Yeah. So last week we went to the temple in Heatstroke. It was like a long journey. More people died to starvation along the way. But finally we got there and we started climbing up the steps. But when we started to like ascend, actually that's not true. The first thing we did when we got there was I tried to find the age of a table inside of a random house because I noticed all the items in houses were like almost like there was like 5 different tables, but those 5 different tables were everywhere on the entire plane.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried to do it, I got an error code. My spell crashed. It failed to compile. But after that, we tried to ascend the temple and just like head up and see if we could communicate with the gods in like a very holy site. But as we
How did
approached,
that work?
we saw color for the first time in a long time, but it was
That
not.
sounds great.
Yeah, you would think so, but red usually isn't the first color you want to see.
Mm-mm.
So we got to the top. Van opened the door and saw this big swirling vortex of Malchus, the super edgy, swirling like red and black vortex. And at first, I was thinking I'm gonna run through there and jump before it closes. But then, right after that, 3 displacer beasts, 3 smoke methods, and 3 space spiders all jumped out of that portal. So Van instead said, "Nope," shut the door, started running down the steps, and tried to assemble some people at the base of the stairs, and it led to a big fight, very, very big fight, where I rolled horribly for about 50 minutes, and Bastion killed all the things for us. Until finally, like, most of the peasants had died. They'd all fled, both the knights were down, and it was just Bastion and I left on these steps. And finally, I started rolling good when we were down to 2 displacer beasts and nothing else. Displacer beasts were also rolling good, and they crit Bastion multiple times.
Oof.
Took him down to -9. The one I was fighting took me down to 9 before I killed it. And I had to make the call between trying to kill the last displacer beast or saving Kind before he bled out from -9. I chose to kill the displacer beast. And we lost our ranger.
And he is dead.
Yep.
I think we're gonna pick up. Since then, you have burned his body.
Yeah, so I was actually going to mention, If you don't mind retconning that, because I didn't look at the specifics in his character sheet. We said like, oh, you just take whatever. We'll do that after the session.
Sure. What do you want to modify there?
Timelessness on him, right?
Yes, he had an oil of
Before I do
timelessness
that,
on him.
I wanted to know if that would be the kind of thing that would keep somebody like capable of being resurrected longer than the usual limit for raised dead.
Well, considering that no one has resurrected anybody in 1,500 years, and an oil of timelessness is a new thing for you as well, I think you can speculate about it as much as you want, but I can't confirm anything for you.
Okay. So
maybe if you run some tests or something, you can figure it out, but I don't know what tests those would be. So
sure. So not knowing then, I feel like Van would, instead of burning Kind's body, instead strip him naked and oil up every square inch of Kind's naked body.
Okay. You oil up every square inch of Kind's naked body with the oil of timelessness. How many uses does that have?
I think it's 8 people. You can cover
you can oil up 8 naked bodies
double check with
a flask of oil. That's a big flask of oil.
It's not oil. It's like paste. You rub it on someone.
Isn't it called an oil of timelessness?
Maybe. I assumed it's more viscous than
any matter that was once alive, leather, paper, leaves, wood, dead flesh, etc. It allows that substance to resist the passage of time. It specifically says dead flesh.
Yeah, and it does say resist the passage of time, which is why I was wondering about raised dead.
Each year of actual time affects the substance as if it only had passed a day. The coded object gives a +1 bonus on all saving throws. The oil never wears off, although it can be magically removed. The one flask contains enough oil to coat 8 man-sized objects or an equivalent area. Okay, you have rubbed the oil in deep all over Kind's fleshy body.
Yep. And I guess I just kind of leave him up in the corner with like a blanket over him, and I just tell people to like leave that body be, because I might be able. Perhaps I can work a miracle for the first time. And aside from that, this is where I wanted to look into the possibility of making a scroll nail. And this is probably something that we should talk about a little bit more, but I know you were busy before the show.
And by busy, you mean not out of bed yet.
So with that, what would do I know, would Van have a decent idea if he has the materials to make an uplift scroll?
So you need to be 7th level. What level is uplift?
4th level, so it'd be rare materials.
Ooh, there we go. Now the mic's kicking in. Rare materials. A rare ingredient for the ink, and what type of quill do you need?
Could I use like a hollowed out pen, like a fountain pen instead of a quill? Like if I were to hollow out Kind's finger and use like a bone pen.
Well, that's a quill of sorts. That would work.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Let me make sure it's... Because they do say something about specific quills. All scrolls require a rare quill of some kind. Now, I don't know if a human bone is a rare quill. I would say that's an...
Would you say the bone of someone... Could I take a bone from like the Displacer Beast then? Would that be a rare bone? I was thinking more situational than actual ingredient, like the finger of the person you intend to resurrect being a fairly rare ingredient. But if it's more like the ingredient itself, then I feel like a Displacer Beast or spiders, I guess they're more, no.
If you could somehow turn a Displacer Beast bone or claw into a quill, I could go with that.
Ooh, I could probably turn a claw into a quill. I could probably hollow one of those out.
So I've got a couple of questions here.
Sure.
How do quills work? And does Van Helsing understand that well enough to make one on his own?
I do have reading and writing as a proficiency, and I did grow up in the temple, so I feel like I would have used quills my whole life.
That's true. You would have been
I probably would have been like copying a lot of old texts.
Yep.
So I probably would know a decent amount about quills.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The other question is, where are you going to get... Oh, you were going to use blood for ink, right? No,
I was going to use Kind's blood.
Kind's blood.
Or I could use like the blood of one of those spider. Like I could use a venom from the spider, something that's like indicates powers. What I always thought about uplift. So I was thinking like the blood of a high-level character, as in Kine, or like the blood of a displacer beast or a spider, something that's like dangerous and powerful. Because I feel like power translates to uplift.
That's true. I could kind of see that. My concerns on this are that between the displacer beast and the spider or whatever blood that you'd use for ink, those are not super situational to uplift. They're very convenient because they're right next to you.
Yeah, they are right next to me.
I feel like uplift might need something a little bit more specific.
Did we kill one of the demons in Heatstroke, or was that in the town before?
The town before.
Okay. Blood.
Uplift. What's it? What does the uplift
could
actually
some
do?
Of his blood. Because I'm the higher level cleric in the scenario, right? Could I use some of my blood to make the uplift scroll that I plan to give to a weaker cleric?
That kind of works, but that's not very rare then.
I know
it would
that's
be a
not
common
rare.
ingredient.
I have plenty of blood.
Yeah. Nate, can we harvest your blood in some unusual, difficult method to make it a rare process?
Mixing it with other materials, I guess, maybe? Let me see what I have, actually. Let me go through Kine's sheet again.
There's also one thing. I have temporarily disabled the spells page on Regal Goblins, and I'm going to fix that right now so you guys can load the spell page, and then I'm going to disable it again. So you guys can, like, load the spell page and then...
I'll save the page.
Or something. Like, load it and then don't refresh it so I can disable and then re-able, and then we'll be fine.
Sure. So let me know when that's up, and I'll save it.
Yeah, that'll be just a few seconds here. Maybe a minute. Actually, I have to connect to the server.
I'm looking at Kine's sheet right now. I'm trying to see if there's any, like, cool items I can mix it with. Like, if he has any potions on him. Oh my god. I forgot how much weird stuff he has. He has, like, a map case, papyrus. He has all sorts of weird shit. What? So.
Okay, the page is loaded. So everyone do.
What would I need for the up? Like, what do you think I would need to get for the uplift scroll? Because I know Van probably has a better idea than I do as a player as to what.
Right. So uplift, it just increases the.
Increases the level of any cleric 5 or higher. It's for every 5 levels of the cleric with fractions rounded up. It increases the higher level spellcaster between the two clerics. Based on the lower. So, like, Elise is level 5, right? So if she were to cast Uplift, I would get 1 extra level in spellcasting terms.
I see.
If she were level 6, I would get 2. It automatically goes to the higher level cleric. It requires a sacrifice of 500 GP value.
Okay. So it's increasing the level of something. I would say maybe good use for that. You would need some sort of... I feel like this is a very holy thing, where you're temporarily infusing someone with your own power in some way. So what's something holy that could be used as ink?
Ooh, that's a good question. Could I mix... I have those statues of the gods. If I were to, like crush those down into dust, like one of them down into dust, and mix it in with the ink, that'd probably make it a little bit more viscous, but also, like, if it were thin enough, it'd probably meld in pretty well, and it'd make the ink a little bit thicker, but it'd also add this, like, bit of holiness to it.
Okay, so grind one of these holy statues of a god into dust, mix it with regular ink.
Or my blood, anything like that. Because I feel like it's my blood that's going into this uplift scroll. Mix it with something very holy and rare.
Considering that, I guess you're the one writing the scroll, right? So maybe it should be a combination of standard ink, caster blood, and holy item that's been ground into dust and mixed in with the two of them.
Okay.
And then I think you could use a displacer beast claw to make it happen.
Yeah. Let me see what the let me see how long it would even take to make this scroll. If it's going to take me like 3 weeks, it might not be worth it. Like, as much as I want to resurrect Kine, this is a bit of a dire situation.
There's no research time for scrolls. The construction cost and time. Inscribing a scroll takes 1 day per spell level.
So 4 days.
And that's it. You just need the right components, the correct equipment, some time.
Okay. So, So there's also a bit of a conflict of interest here, because Van also believes Malachi is coming to find him, and I have a 5th level spell that I could save for when we cast Uplift that would make it very easy for them to find us. Anyways, so you think I have the ingredients that could work for it?
Sure, but you're gonna have to grind to dust or completely destroy one of those statues.
I was going to go with the Astaire one, since Elise is going to be casting the scroll. Is the plan?
Okay.
That scroll is. I'm making it specifically for Elise. I don't know if you can like tailor a scroll to a person, but that's the intent.
I see. All right. Okay.
And I'm going to talk to her about this in advance. I'm going to tell her that I can scribe spells to scrolls. I can infuse you with some of my magic power, and if you can cast the resulting spell, I might be able to bring Kind back from the dead.
She looks at you with skepticism.
I understand. I'm skeptical too, but I think any chance is worth taking here. And beyond that, if resurrecting Kind isn't a path that we can follow, there's another spell that might
if
help.
that is possible, why not resurrect them all? There are many dead. You cannot resurrect more than one? Why not?
This will be an extremely expensive process. I'm going to be sacrificing thousands of gold in value here.
Don't you have tens of thousands of gold in value?
Yes, but it's also going to take many days.
I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon. There are many good people that have died here.
Sure, but also think about this on pragmatic terms. I could look into resurrecting the knights, but they'd be the first that I would go for. There's also the issue that the knights there's a time limit. It's going to take me 4 days to make this scroll, and I can only do it within about a week of the person dying. That's why I wanted to bring this up now. Time is a bit urgent here, and Kind might be the only person that I can save. Truthfully speaking, I think he's the most powerful fighter in this group. Surpasses even my martial skill.
That is, having seen what we've seen, that is, I believe, an indisputable fact, but I urge you to try them all. If there's a way, if it's even remotely possible that we can bring back these people, I mean, Bretta, Dickie, they could be very useful.
Classic
Not to
Dickie.
mention the if we can bring these people back from the dead, isn't that our obligation?
Is it? Death is a natural part of life, Elise.
If you can argue that we ought to bring back one, I don't see how you could argue we shouldn't bring them all back.
I do have one thing.
We are in a very unnatural place.
I agree. I can do one thing that might help with this. I have an item here, and I pull out the oil of timelessness. It should be good for 5, 6, maybe 7 more people. If you want to help me, it will help once living matter from decaying. It will suspend it in time. It might be enough to allow raised dead to be used on somebody longer than their normal date. I lathered it on Kind's body, but if you want to lather it on some more, we can look into potentially resurrecting more in the future.
She reaches kind of tentatively for the vial.
Yeah, and I hand it to her, and I'm gonna... we burned all the bodies, didn't we?
Yeah, but you burned Kind's body too, so...
Wait, we piled them all up, never mind. We didn't burn them, did we? We just
No, I think...
pile of bodies.
Yeah, you wouldn't ruin your dinner.
Okay. So... Oh no, Neal, has that happened? Are people just eating all the dead bodies? We have such good Displacer Beast meat.
The Displacer Beast meat is currently being eaten, but, you gotta save up food for winter.
Sure, fine. So I'm gonna go grab the knights' bodies first, and I'll, drag them up the steps of the temple. So them other leads. I'm going to try and go in order of, the strongest fighters that we've had. People who are best for surviving this place.
So Bretta and Lord Dickie Kugler are first.
Yep. And then I know the rest are all peasants, but anyone who I probably saw some of these people fighting. It's probably not going to make a difference in mechanics, but he'd probably like grab people he saw do impressive feats in a couple of battles.
Sure. So you will drag up another 7 people to the top of the temple with the help of various other people, and
she can just use that oil of timelessness.
And Mother Elise goes, rolls up her sleeves, splashes some oil on her hands, and massages some corpses.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. So first off, how is our Displacer Beast meat stock going?
It's hard to tell because time is hard to you're going to run out eventually. So.
Okay, so my plan is whenever it looks like we're getting low, I'm gonna have people cut up one of those big phase spiders, or however many we can fit into an 8-foot cube now, since I'm a little late. And we'll just pile up as much meat as we can in there, separate the venom sac, and I'll purify food and drink on those spiders, and we'll have spider meat to eat after the Displacer Beasts.
Okay.
But that's whenever we get low. I don't want to do that right away.
All right, so you're going to be making a scroll.
Yes.
Which is going to take you roughly 4 days, but since there's no light or dark here, you're kind of awake for odd periods of time. It might take a little bit longer or a little less long. So I'm playing fast and loose with the time rules here in order to make things confusing for you.
All right. And then I was going to investigate that mirror. I didn't mention that during the recap, but I was going to look into that. But I think I'm I can do that whenever. Yeah. Whereas I think this is very
Okay, there's still a guard on it, keeping a close watchful eye.
Okay.
Okay, so eventually you get the scroll prepared. Dickie and Greta and a bunch of other people are all oiled and lathered.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to do after I make this scroll is I want to memorize Remove Curse and cast it on the scroll. Because the spell can fail and the scroll can be cursed. And the normal so if it's cursed, it will crumble to dust. And I was like, why wouldn't you just always cast it? I found out you can actually put multiple spells on a single scroll. And then if one is cursed and you try and remove that curse, you just destroy the whole scroll. But I only have 1 on this one, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's not great paper, it's like parchment, so I probably have a penalty for that.
Yeah, parchment actually no, parchment is no penalty. Paper is a +5 bonus, papyrus is a -5 bonus. So your base chance is 80% plus 1% per character level, so we're at 87. Minus
88.
1, 88, ooh. Okay. -1 per spell level, so -4, so 84. That's it. 84%.
Okay, so 84. And then if it's a fail, it's automatically cursed?
No, if it's a 96 or higher on a D100.
Okay, would I know if it failed normally?
I think so.
Okay, yes. Should I just roll it then myself?
No, I'll roll it.
I'm going to remove curse on it, so we'll know.
I'm going to roll it anyway.
All right.
Okay. Your scroll does not fail.
Okay, so I'm going to memorize Remove Curse and cast it on the scroll. That's going to take me 3 hours, I think, going by...
What level is Remove Curse?
Level 3. You told me it took about an hour per spell level last session.
So it's going to take you 3 hours.
Yep, so whenever I get a chance, I will memorize Remove Curse and test it on the scroll.
Okay. Let's grab some... you cast Remove Curse on the scroll.
Does it crumble to dust?
No, it doesn't crumble to dust.
Excellent. I have an uplift scroll created. So one thing I want to know, Neal, did I have to sacrifice the item when I made the scroll, or is that when it's cast? I assumed it was when you make the scroll.
Which item? Oh, is the uplift have
I have
material
to sacrifice
component?
a 500 GP item, and I've got multiple items of great value.
So you would... that would have to be done while the scroll is being created. Okay, because scrolls don't require material components, so you would expend that during the creation.
Let me pull up my loot list to see what the valuable stuff is. I'm not going to do the chessboard because I use that for auguries.
Yeah, and that's like 1,000 or 10,000 GP. I don't really know.
The chessboard is at least 1,000, but where's the loot? Is this it? It's in my spells list, isn't it? Of course I put it in my spells list. Okay, so the statues and the chess set are both about 1,000. How much was the sword worth? We got our stuff appraised. The sword is right below the statues and chess set.
I gotta go find my old document that has these things. You never got these things fully ID'd, right? Did you?
We took it all to an appraiser.
Yeah. Okay.
It was in Newford. Yeah.
Where are? are. Oh, maybe my notes are in a binder.
Okay.
Okay, this is what we're looking at. The Bejeweled Longsword.
Yes. Sword and
The
scabbard together.
The scabbard is worth 160. The sword is worth 600.
Okay, so I'll just do them both together. I feel like Van's probably not like directly on point with the value, so he's probably just going to play it safe and put the sword and scabbard together and use that for creating the scroll.
Offering worth 500 GP from each priest. So that's going to be actually two 500 GP items.
Yeah, so the other one, this is for when I cast Uplift myself, because I'm going to cast it off my spell list. I have a painting. How much is that worth? I'll start marking these down, by the way. So the sword and scabbard are gone.
The painting's 140.
Okay, so I'm going to use the statues. The statues are on par with the chess set.
The statues are, they're on par. You've already taken one.
So I took one,
them.
but they should still be over 500 in value.
Right.
So I'm gonna use that whole thing when I cast the spell myself. As loath as I am to get rid of all these statues, I'll look into those. Would it still be over 500 if I took out? Is it like on a statue per statue basis, and it all totals out to 500 or 1,000?
There's a little bit extra for having a complete set.
Okay, so if I took away cheese, because we're already missing a stair, it'd still be over 500 pretty solidly from 1,000. All right, I'll take out the cheese one and keep that for myself.
Okay.
And I was going to urinate on the Malchus one, because fuck that guy, but I probably shouldn't do that until I get back to the prime material plane.
Okay. So you... So you sacrifice an item to create the scroll, and you're going to sacrifice one in order to cast Uplift yourself.
Yeah, so I haven't done that yet. It takes all day to cast the spell, and I want to make sure Mother Elise is at full HP. Like, I'm going to start healing her if she's not, because she's going to take 2d6 damage from casting the spell. Yeah.
Mother Elise's HP... She was at -6 at some point. Then she'd been healed, and then you spent 4 days prepping the scroll, so she could have been healed to full by then.
Okay. So she's at full.
Yeah.
Should we say I'm at full too? I was only like 6 HP off.
Sure. I'm sure between the two of you, you guys would have healed yourselves. Not many of the civilians needed that. I do want to say that it's been many days now, and your food problem you've ran out of displacer beast meat, and you've ran out of phase spiders at this point.
Seriously?
Well, you have like 80 people. And
I
80
lost
people.
More than that.
You lost 20? No, you lost like 14 in the battle.
Okay.
So 80 people can chew through 3 displacer beasts and 3 phase spiders without too much of a problem.
So what I'm gonna look into doing then is having some people, like if I notice that these stocks are starting to go lower, Ben's gonna have some people organize like a small hunting squad and try and find like lone things to pick off. Because I noted that there were like this place is dangerous, but there's a lot of like lone creatures that we've run into here. I warn people that the town is dangerous and that monsters patrol the streets. But if they go in small hunting squads, they might be able to find some food for us. It's a dangerous task, but we need the food.
Okay. People will branch off into groups with weapons, spears and crossbows, and try and hunt
send all
something.
of the armed people. Like probably 15 people out at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We've got over 30 weapons.
Okay.
All right, so we have some hunting groups, and hopefully they come back with things that I can purify.
They're that small group of people that were worshiping what they're calling these demons that take away the hunger has started to grow in influence as the food supplies have dwindled. You find more and more people discussing.
That's actually one thing. If I had the time, I have a first level spell called Detect Evil, and I wanted to cast that and look at one of these. Because normal people don't radiate alignments, but creatures do. So if the things are inside them, they'd probably radiate their alignment. And I wanted to cast Detect Evil. Or I think I might actually have no alignment. Let me see if I have that. I have the spell page up. Here it is. No alignment. I do have no alignment. It's a second level spell. So if I had a chance, I'd like to cast no alignment at one of these people, these possessed people.
Mm-hmm.
To see if I can discern the alignment of the creatures inside. The AoE is a creature or object, but if I know they're possessed and that the creature's inside, I don't need to like physically see them, do I? I know they're there. I know exactly.
Right.
Like I could target, if I had a spell for a specific target, I could target the thing inside me, right?
Probably not.
Okay. What about one inside another person?
Probably not. I mean, if it's like some sort of exorcism thing that's specifically regarding possession,
Okay.
then yeah. But anything
What if
outside
what if it were an AoE where you pick out the targets in an AoE? Would that work?
I don't think so. I think that the concept of possession is a little bit too foreign. It's not simply like a person in a box, right? Because when you're possessed, it's not just something is living inside of you. It's something is kind of overtaking you and is part of you.
Okay. So do I still feel that thing inside me, like in physical locations, like before when I first got?
No, you've gotten very adjusted to it.
What I'm wondering is if I were able to like locate it and commit seppuku again to try and kill the one inside me.
I mean, you're gonna have to test these things out.
You know what? I've got the health. I'm not gonna do it right now, but if I can't target. I was hoping I could use dictate to get the one inside me to leave, but if I can't target things with an AoE spell, then I probably can't do that. So
yeah,
that's just on the back burner. Instead, I'll do a detect evil. That's an AoE. I don't need to target anything. I'm gonna see if these creatures inside of people are evil. AoE is 10 foot by 120 yards. Lasts for a turn plus 5 rounds per level. Spell discovers emanations of evil or of good in the case of the reverse spell from any creature, object, or area. Character alignment is only revealed under unusual circumstances. You probably know about that. And then there's a degree of evil: dim, faint, moderate, strong, or overwhelming. And possibly its general nature: expectant, malignant, gloating, etc. can be noted. If the evil is overwhelming, the priest has a 10% chance per level of detecting its general bent. So if those things inside them are evil, I should be able to detect it.
So you get a dim evil that is, I think its general nature is going to come off as patient.
Patient, okay.
Dim. Just a little evil.
Yeah. They're not super evil. They're like Malachi evil.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I mean, there's nothing I can really do about it right now. I don't know if I have an exorcism spell.
Probably not.
I have an ethereal barrier, which would probably work on these fog monsters, but I think it basically trapped them inside of people. Like, it just stops them from going through. So I could stop them from entering more people, but I couldn't get rid of the ones already in there.
But some time has passed. You've gotten your uplift scroll.
So I got the uplift scroll. I'm gonna look into casting out Mother Elise. Actually, I want to do that right now. First, I want to memorize detecting pool, or what's it called? Reflecting pool.
Reflecting pool.
I want to scry on Malachi again, because my Van still believes Malachi is going to come for him.
Why are you so certain he's going to come for you? Don't you know what sort of man he is?
Yes, but I've also kept this as a character thing the entire time we've been here. But it's also been a while since I scryed on him. And I have because I have the uplift scroll, I have a 5th level spell that would be amazing if he's on this plane. And if that's the case, I probably want to use that instead.
Okay. So you memorize yourself some reflecting pool and give it a cast.
If he's on the same plane, it's a 100% chance. Otherwise, it's 75. I'll go and roll it.
Wow.
So it's probably 75. Oh, no, I hope he's on this plane.
It doesn't work.
Fuck, okay.
You get nothing.
So it took about 4 days to scribe it onto the scroll. Kind of been dead for about a day, so it's been 5 days. I do have enough that I could do uplift again. I could sacrifice both those crowns. So I could just make another thought wave. Ooh. Okay. So I think I'm going to band together with Mother Elise here, and we're going to try and resurrect Kine from the dead. By the way, I probably would have looked at... It lasts for a long time, so I probably would have looked at Kine. Is that thing still inside of him, even though he's dead? Is there a faint emanation?
Oh, you mean with the Detect Evil spell?
Yeah.
All right, so... Okay, yeah, we're playing fast and loose with time here, but that's okay. So you have your scroll, you're all ready to do your thing. You're going to go and cast Detect Evil on him before you res him.
Well, because I was probably inside the room with the people, and it's 120 yards in range, so I probably would have noticed at some point, because it's like a 40-minute spell.
Right, but if you were looking at... people, it could have been in a lot of places. I don't know where you've been stacking the bodies and that sort of thing. So we do have a few days.
Well,
in here
I
to
did
kill.
mention that I put him in the corner in the temple room.
So
Either way, if I have to cast again, that's fine. It's a first level spell.
yeah, you do not detect any radiating evil from Kind's body.
Well, in that case, perhaps killing people and resurrecting them is a good way to exorcise these demons.
Good way
But
of doing it.
if this does work, Neal, what how are we gonna deal with Kind being resurrected?
Maybe I've already got Kind sitting in a chat channel ready to jump in.
I know you don't, because he messaged me saying that he wouldn't be on today.
And you trust the Meta Ranger to tell you the truth?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Fuck. I can't do the thought wave, and I kind of want to sit on that scroll because I actually successfully made an uplift scroll, but I also really want to resurrect Kind. Fuck.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try it. Mother Elise and I are going to try combining an uplift to create. So we're gonna cast uplift, and immediately, I don't even have to memorize the spell. I just immediately get whatever spell I want, and I'm gonna take Raise Dead. So you don't like petition your god or anything for it. It's just once uplift goes off, the spell is implanted into your brain.
Okay.
And if I get any sort of sense, actually, it doesn't last long enough. But if I get some sort of sense that like I'm gonna explode my brain trying to take Raise Dead, I'll probably stop the casting.
If you get a sense
that I'm just gonna like die as soon as I try and take Raise. Like if Cheese is going, don't do it, as I'm memorizing the spell, I'll stop.
It's unlikely that you're gonna get one of those things. More likely, you're just gonna straight up die without having been warned.
Fuck. Why would people? The worst part is uplift. Is it takes all day, so I wouldn't be able to use augury or unfailing premonition to
12-hour spell casting time. What are you gonna do?
Maybe I should just sit on it. I really don't want to die. I did oil everybody up. Neal, you're killing me here. I'm gonna be so pissed if I die doing this. Can I try asking Cheese before I do so?
Well, you would need to get everyone together to be asking the same question.
And I'm going to ask.
Group prayer.
Is there a? Because she can give me like one-word answers.
That's what it seemed like the last time, and it took hours and hours to get
I'm okay with taking a few hours for the sake of having a little bit of security. I'm going to say, is it safe for me to take Is it safe for me to take magic to raise people from the dead? That's the question I want to ask here. I want to make sure, because nobody's done this in 1,000 years, and I don't want to like just straight up die trying to do it myself. And I'm gonna, because like now is the time where I actually have that power at my hands, and I wanna ask Cheese.
So what is the question that you were getting all 80 people, including Mother Elise, to chant?
Is it safe for me to take magic to raise people from the dead? Learn magic that allows me to raise people from the dead. And if she says anything like no or maybe, just like fuck that, I'm sitting on that uplift scroll.
Is it safe?
I feel like if it's unsafe in any way, that's a pretty straightforward question.
I don't think she gives you an answer. I think you go through the process of spending hours and hours getting all of your people in the holiest place in this Shadow Realm to try and reach out to your gods at the
I get the feeling that she's
far
there,
away.
But she's just not answering me.
Yeah, there's no reply coming.
I don't trust that. I don't like that one bit. I'm not casting Raise Dead like that then. If she's not going to give me some sort of guarantee, then I'm not just going to like fry my brain. I don't want to take that chance. I have other things I can use that uplift scroll for, Neal. And I already did lather everybody's body with oils of timelessness, so I have time, hopefully. I'm going to sit on that uplift scroll. Instead, I think it's time to turn my attention to that magic mirror.
Okay. So you would like to investigate the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you like to do with the mirror? It's down in the basement. Let me get my description of it again. Here we go. In the super sub basement of the Great Pyramid is a distorted mirror like ovular portal. Its edges are writhed like flames, although there's no fire or heat, just a distorted mirror that flickers and moves.
I think you might. I have some spells, namely, that I want to cast with it. So I'm probably going to take some time here and memorize some new spells.
Okay.
And I'm going to memorize. This might take a little while, so let me just grab spells. First thing, I'm definitely going to take Augury.
Okay.
Mark that down. Augury. There was some other good stuff. Detect magic, obviously, because I can detect like schools and spheres and shit like that. That's first level. Detect. So no alignment does work on objects. I could target that mirror, right? And know its alignment if it's an aligned magical item.
Maybe.
All right, I'm going to take no alignment. I'll burn my withdraw for that. I have a few spells that I've been holding on to since I first got to the Shadow Realm. And it's just, I just have these things in there. I'm kind of laughing because they're probably never going to be useful, but I don't want to get rid of them.
So you learn no alignment, you learn augury.
Unfailing premonition. That's third level.
Okay.
Let me see what I have fourth level. That'd be really useful for this. Fortify, free action, genius. Genius would probably be decent for that mirror, but I feel like that's a little meta. Like, I don't know if a genius would just know magical properties about a mirror, even though technically it should by the spell description. I think from the way that we interpret it, it probably shouldn't work. I could say, like, what is this mirror? And technically that's in the bounds of genius.
Right, but it might also
like
be, it also might be something so exotic that even a genius wouldn't know it.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be kind of bullshit to ask that question.
Kind of bullshit.
I'm sorry, Bastion. I'm sorry. I hope that oil of timelessness does the job.
That's right. I'll just let him know that he can go back home.
Let's see. Solipsism, spelling.
Okay.
Ooh,
why don't we take our first break while you
break.
figure these things out, and when we come back from break, we will see what your spells are doing. See you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.